Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Richmond, Virginia. Welcome to Richmond Raceway for the ARCS Rock and Roll 200. I'm Carmen, Sienna. Alongside me, as always, Kevin Young to present tonight's action from this 3/4 mile oval. Kevin, nice to be back with you in the booth. It's been a little bit of time. Qualifying obviously underway, but obviously Richmond, not the first time we've been here. How much has things changed since the spring?
Not really much. It's still a day race per se, so you're not going to have to deal with the conditions of how it was back in the day with a day race and a night race. So it's pretty similar-ish conditions, except obviously with that one being early in the spring. Now in the dog days of summer, track temperature and the heat is going to be a bit of a factor these drivers will have to deal with. But regardless, similar structure. It's been into one groove racetrack where you're going to see drivers love to run that middle to low groove, to really pinch the car down there, and you're not going to see many drivers staying on the top side for as long as they dare.
Obviously, qualifying currently ongoing here, so I'll show up a little bit of information about what's going to be in place tonight. 84 degrees, the air temp. It is hot. It is, for once, pretty accurate for how things feel right now, and the track temp's going to feel awfully hot as well. 111 degrees is the track temperature. A little bit of wind, 8-mile-an-hour winds here at Richmond. A lot of humidity as well, partly cloudy skies. It's going to be sticky, it's going to be hot, it's going to be physical for the drivers here tonight, all 18 of them in tonight's race. Qualifying is almost wrapped up. We're actually going to jump in time to check on the last driver to set a qualifying time, Bryn Roberts.
Brent Roberts just came out. He was starting his warm lap, and he ended up getting it back correct. You see him a little bit wiggly there, and ended up hitting the outside wall, luckily before crossing the line. So he'll get 2 free attempts here instead of losing one to the accident. And we'll see when he can put that #1 Chevy towards the front. Coming off a podium last week at Pocono, looking to try to keep this forward momentum. Actually, 4th place finish, and actually ended up not getting on the podium. But still, looking to keep this strong performance going in that #1. With already 1 win this season, looking to try to make it a pole position to put himself closer to getting win #2. First lap in the books, only going to be good for 17th. Going to have to step it up if he wants to try to jump into that front row.
Obviously, for those that are new, for those that, or maybe that tuned in last week when Christina Ryan was leading the booth alongside Kevin, a little bit differently how things play out. There will be qualifying, which we're looking at right now, which right now Danny Michelle and Tommy Reynolds are top of the board. Bryn Roberts, does he improve? He does, to 11th place. So he will be in the first heat race coming up here in a little bit. The front row, Michelle and Reynolds, are locked into the race. They don't have to worry about any of the qualifying heats. Everyone third on down gets sorted into 2 different heats. If you're 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th, you get all the odd numbers. You get put in Heat 1. Think of the Daytona duels, but it's for every race here in the ARCS A² Cup Series. Heat 1 determines the inside lane. Heat 2 determines the outside lane for these races. We saw Bryn Roberts qualify. He ends up 11th. He will be in 5th position to start Heat 1. But that's how all of that is going to work. 18 cars, a smaller field than what we've seen the last few weeks. But it is short oval racing, and 18 cars will still produce a lot of traffic, especially as we get into longer runs. Be expecting to see some traffic here, especially in Stage 3, the longest stage of the night, once we get into the main event. But time's going to tick away here. We got a little over 100 seconds left here in qualifying. So we'll take the time to kind of explain everything that's gone on here as we've sort of seen some changes take place here over the last few weeks. Obviously, Pocono, I wasn't here for. Still an exciting race nonetheless there last week. That race was won by Josh Gaiman, who continues to excel and do phenomenal things. Danny Michelle, obviously currently a pole sitter for tonight's race, finished 2nd last week. Bryn Roberts did finish 3rd ahead of Seth Wansing. Unless that was relegated in post-race penalties. I haven't seen that part yet.
I've not seen any penalties come down the timeline. I get maybe something ended up getting jumped, but I did not see anything negate that top 3, if my wire is correct.
Yeah, no penalties for Pocono other than a 7-point penalty for Ronald Ray due to a technical infraction for him. So yeah, Bryn Roberts finished 3rd, so he's got a little bit of work to do if he wants to try to repeat that tonight. He's starting 5th in Heat 1, but right now he's qualified 11th. So it has definitely changed the way the standings look here going into tonight's race. After Pocono last week, Brandon Fetterplace leads the regular season championship standings by 30 points over Tommy Reynolds. Fetterplace currently qualified 5th, Reynolds in 2nd place. Reynolds will not have to worry about the duels or the heats coming up here. Good for him. Josh Gaiman, last week's race winner, 3 wins now in the season for him. That's a decent pool of bonus points to get started into the playoffs here coming up quickly. 5 weeks' time is when that begins. Danny Michelle, 4th place in points. Seth Wanzing, 5th place. The first driver in points without a win. Arguably the safest without a win so far. As we get ready to go, and it looks like we've actually seen a little bit of an impromptu change in the procedure tonight. We have a singular duel, so we'll go over the starting grid for that here as things get lined up. Edward Marshall and Donald Ray, Brandon Fetterplace, Austin Purnell. They're the top 4. We have a singular qualifying duel for how this race is going to pan out. So this will be interesting to sort of keep an eye on here. Tom Sears, Josh Gaiman, last week's race winner, sitting in row 3. Oberstadt and Bradley Wright, row 4. Roberts and Leiter, row 5. Pinnell and Wanzing, row 6. I'm looking a little bit further down. We got 2 more rows to look at. David Wright and Kevin Feemster, row 7. Row 8, James Kerr and Jack Mulkey, rounding out this 16-car heat. So a singular heat means that the points system for the heat is going to be a little bit different. There are bonus points added for those that finish well in these heats typically. So a singular heat, which typically applies, looking at the rule book, only happens if there's less than 20 cars in an event. We've seen it before. It only happens if there's less than 20 cars in an event.
Correct.
Obviously, we have 18. So that's how we're going to roll off here. So this will be even more interesting because now we look at this. There'll be 10 laps in this heat. No cautions. Anything kind of flies here. It's a good way to have your evening start off on the wrong foot for sure. We have 2 formation laps here, I believe, with it being a short oval. But this is going to be a really good emphasis on managing traffic because it will be carnage here early on in this heat. And then there'll be a warm-up session, and then there will be the 200-lap, 150-mile main event, the Rock and Roll 200, coming up. But as we look at things a little bit further forward here, looking at the points, how important this is now with 5 races to go into the playoffs. Seth Wanzing still winless. He's going to have a lot of work to do starting where he's at right now. He's currently 11th in this heat starting out. Tom Sears, Toby Estes have wins each. Ben Roberts has a win. Then you have drivers like Jeremy Breo, who is currently dealing with some personal matters, but still in range to make the playoffs if he can return by the end of the regular season. Dustin Painter's in. Steven Oberstadt's in. Tommy Withers is in. So the cut line is very tight for those that have not yet won a race. You look at the likes of Ryan Pinnell and Kevin Feemster, David Wright, Emma Kruger, who is not here tonight. That's a very important miss.
Yep. Got to finish that point before we get going here. Right now, the line is David Wright, and he's only 3 points behind Kevin Feemster.
Yeah.
So right now, if a new driver wins, let's say Donald Ray currently 2nd, if he gets a good qualifying position and he can easily change the line's position, but we'll have to hold that thought as away we go. Good launch on an inside line, and Marshall going to slot up another driver who can have a win here.
Whoa,
to try to push,
and
but he's going to
Marshall slides.
and it's going to check up the outside line, but he saves it.
Really good save by Marshall and very good avoidance by most of the field, minus David Wright, who also has a good save of his own and still trying to save it. But everyone avoids calamity there. We stay going. Everyone largely pointing the same direction, minus Steven Oberstadt, who spins.
Yeah, Steven Oberstadt luckily going to get it, luckily not hit anything, but he's going to pull it out of the grass here, but definitely going to put himself in a bad spot.
Oh, Gaiman's turned.
Yep,
Contact between Gaiman and Bradley Wright. Those 2 teams have had issues so far. You think back to I believe Nashville earlier this year. It was between Gaiman and Toby Estes, but teammates there for Bandit Racing, Bradley Wright, also from Greensburg, Kentucky. Better place. Kind of happy he was able to start on the inside line and get away because he is now ahead of Austin Purnell and Tom Sears, with Donald Ray still recovering the 4th. Not a bad job for him, seeing as how Edward Marshall slided in front of him and then immediately slowed him down with that lap 1 slide.
And this is kind of the benefits of the heat racing right now. As you saw, Feather Place kind of an upper mid-pack car, top 10 qualifying spot you would have had. Now looking to maybe start third position. Austin Pinnell as well, just outside the top 10. Now looking to get a good second row starting spot if he can hold that spot. So this is kind of the advantage of heat racing in some element, that it can help you gain spots if other drivers have issues or mistakes, or it was so Edward Marshall, for instance. So it's one of the perks of the heat racing. That's why I think a lot of drivers like it, is it allows them the opportunity to, maybe if they had not a good qualifier, maybe not a good 1 lap, 2 lap driver, and they have some good race pace, they can make up the spots during these heat races.
Right now, Feather Place leads. He is the regular season leader in points. He'll have that little credit to his name by the time the end of the regular season rolls around here in 5 weeks.
Yep, one win.
Races like this, these heat races that do award bonus points, help out with that. Austin Pinnell sitting in second, a good run for him. Trying to keep it quiet and calm. Has a chance to do that again in the main event, the 200 lap rock and roll 200. Later on here. Just has to keep it calm and steady for these next 4 laps. Tom Sears looking good as well. That Toyota sitting in third. Then Donald Ray returning for Sunday Money Racing. He's scored as the number 50. He's listed as the 112 that we see on the card, but he's scoring the number 50 because that's the charter scoring points.
Yeah.
At the moment. So you'll see a little bit of an inconsistency there, but he is in the 50 car on our screens, and that's the charter he's running for. He's ahead of his provisional teammate at the moment for Sunday Money Racing as a fill-in driver, Brendan Roberts there. With Matt Leiter and Seth Wanzing, Kevin Feemster, top 8.
Yeah, it was a good pickup for Sunday Money Racing after Donald Ray had to step away from Presidential Racing due to personal issues, and Presidential Racing obviously called on Matthew Kent to fill in for that charter that he had, and now he's able to come back in a switcheroo with Cody Pinnell, and is looking to maybe, if he can keep this streak up of races, could maybe still get himself a playoff spot, because as we saw before he had to step away, he was running top 5s and knocking the door for wins, so he could easily be a spoiler here in that 112 if he can get things to line up here. And we just started the final lap. Feather Place still got a 3/10 lead of Austin Pinnell, and here's the battle for 4th position as Brendan Roberts going to try to maybe make a move here to get one more spot, one position closer to the front here as he battles Donald Ray, and you can see also in the distance Leiter and Wanzing fighting hard for the position behind.
Got a little bit zoomed out there as positions change between Reynolds and Ray, or between Roberts and Ray, as Leiter finishes 6th. They'll take the checkered flag. It's Feather Place that wins over Purnell's and Sears. Very crucial starting positions there, especially with seeing how the outside lane got checked up. It's going to be interesting because Donald Ray actually let Brendan Roberts go by, which means Ray will start in the inside lane.
Yeah,
for the main event.
That's the one advantage of this having less than 20 cars, is usually that he would have been only in his qualifying duel in his area, which would have been the outside line. But with this, everyone in the one heat, he was allowed to kind of, if he wanted to play mental games and mind games, he could, and make a strategic choice if he wants to start on the inside. So, bit of a smart play by Donald Ray there. We'll see if it works out for him in that 112/50 machine. But right now, that Valvoline machine, he'll chase the other Valvoline machine here in the warm-ups. So as we watch 5-minute warm-up here, this is a good chance for drivers and teams obviously to use bathrooms, stretch their legs, get a drink, whatever. Or as most drivers will end up saying, usually through race control and whatnot, it's a good time. Practice pit road entry and exit, as this is a little bit of a tricky pit lane with being a short track. It's kind of hard to get that car down to 3 and 4, get on the brakes without spinning it out and keeping the speed low enough to get the car in the pit lane. But it's a good chance to see a handful of drivers electing to practice pit stops here and make sure that they get their gauges all nice and checked.
Absolutely. So you're going to see these two Valvoline cars again. It's very easy to tell them apart. One's red, but that's Seth Wanzing, and the white and blue one is Donald Ray.
Mm-hmm.
It's still teammates, so it works out.
Yeah, yeah. One based off of Larson's scheme, one based off of William Byron's scheme.
I will say though, so far.
Yep, Reynolds is the fastest right now. Remember, last time we came here in the spring, Reynolds ended up winning that race, and that top 3 was Reynolds, Gaiman, and I believe it was Breo, I want to say. It was Reynolds, Gaiman, and Feather Place. That was the top three in the spring race at Richmond here. Reynolds looking to go back to back, while a few other drivers trying to break that trend. I will say, while in this warm, it's always weird to see a triple double number on a race car, especially a stock car like the Cup Series cars. It always feels a little bit off, as it's primarily been double digits. Feels like we're playing the old NASCAR games when you made a creative driver and you had to pick a number in the 100 digits most of the time.
So time is going to continue to tick down here. We're below 2 minutes about until we see everyone grid up for this race. We're going to be comparing to the spring race that happened at Richmond a lot in this one because it is the most recent event, and obviously Tommy Reynolds, the race winner in that one, trying to extend the amount of wins he has so far this season. 200 laps last time out. This was, again, back in the spring. This was April 2nd when we were here. Reynolds led 126 laps out of 200. Gaiman led 29, Feather Place 13. Bryn Roberts, the other race leader, with 32 laps led for him. We had 26 cars, though, for that race. So, especially for someone like Tommy Reynolds, who's expecting to be up front, a little less traffic to deal with tonight.
Yeah, that's positive. These short tracks is less likely to have to use the bumper, less likely to have mistakes, less likely in a lot of directions.
So Tommy Reynolds, Austin Purnell, Daniel Michelle, top three in practice here. Final warm-up before things get ready to go.
We can see Oberstadt stuck on the wall there.
This is a very tricky track.
It is. These cars don't stop on a dime, and to get them woe down a corner, you have to be hard on the brakes. But if you're too hard, or you have the bias, the brakes set the wrong direction, car will spin out.
And with that being said, warm-up has concluded. So it's time to get into the starting grid here at Richmond. Dana Michelle will lead the field to green over Tommy Reynolds. It's going to be very interesting to see Reynolds again on the outside lane, too. Everyone's going to prefer that move the outside lane as quickly as possible to sort of cut off the momentum that outside lane can generate, especially on the exits of corners. So that's going to be a fun little battle to follow along with tonight. Brandon Feather plays Austin Purnell in row number 2 ahead of Tom Sears and Bryn Roberts, who make up row 3. Donald Ray and Matthew Leiter in row 4 ahead of Seth Wanzing and Kevin Feemster. James Kerr, Edward Marshall in row number 6. And again, everyone from the second row on down, from Feather Place on down, determined by the heat for finishing positions. Looking down the last 3 rows of the grid, it's Gaiman and Wright in row 7. Row 8, Stephen Oberstadt and Ryan Pennell, with David Wright and Jack Mulkey starting at the back of the field. Could be the safest place to be in this first stage. Things as they are right now, 112 degrees. The track's getting hotter as we run further and further into the daytime here at Richmond Raceway. 2 laps of formation preceding this main event, the ARCS Rock and Roll 200. These 3 drivers are all really good in the spring. Josh Gaiman, the other podium finisher last season, or last time out in the spring, a little bit further back. But there's some very familiar faces at the front of the field here in Virginia.
Yeah, who's who? You got Danny Michelle, who's had a great summer stretch here where he's been quite strong. Tommy Reynolds, obviously 5 wins so far this season. Definitely a strong driver, you could say. And Brandon Featherplate's current points leader as well. So all three of who's who have been the dominating forces of the A² Cup Series.
And Brandon Featherplace has that consistency that's just so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Michelle. Michelle's had those bright spots. He's had low lights too, but he's had some bright spots that have really helped carry this season. And Tommy Reynolds has been almost like a flash of tannerite. It's just a complete boom when he's on track. So we'll see how it all goes here. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing in Virginia. Really good start by Reynolds. They'll stay side by side out of turn 2. Reynolds should have the advantage here. But Michelle not going to let it go. That advantage is going to play itself out a little bit more here on the front straightaway, and Reynolds will get clear of Michelle unless he sends it in deep, as that's Brenton Roberts in the wall further behind.
Correct.
He's going to try to stay out of the way, and he will.
Mm-hmm. Just keeping an eye on there. There was a little bit of a stack up in the back there, and that kind of caused that effect there. Luckily, it was only Roberts that ended up hitting the wall. Now, obviously, Brenton's not happy with that probably, but no caution is no one else was really involved.
And unfortunate for him, but we know he has the pace. He has the ability to get back to the front of the field, and it's a long race. These 200 laps, they're quick laps, but it's going to feel like an eternity in these cars, especially once we get underway and once everyone finds their own rhythm.
Yeah. One advantage, at least, though, he'll have 2 stage breaks. So, at the very least, if he has any damage, he can kind of tough it out to the end of the stage and come in and fix that car if he needs it. And he's also got 1 fast repair if necessary.
Absolutely. A little bit further up front here.
Yep. I was going to say Donald Ray was making a move there, I saw from my perspective, on Kevin Feemster in that 21. Feemster, again, barely in right now on the cut line. Luckily, if he can kind of keep it for stage 1, he'll get a little bit more of a cushion from him to David Wright, as Wright's buried back in 16th. But he's got 2 hungry Sunday Money Racing drivers and a B-Tron Racing 61 filling up his mirrors at the moment, as the presidential racing car is going to try to hang on here for all he can get.
Maybe a lot of hanging on to do if you have to hang on lap 5. Donald Ray, one of those drivers that could really upset the point situation if he could get a win. Same with Everett Marshall, who's got to come from the back of the field. At this point, every new winner is going to completely change what this field looks like.
Correct.
And with 5 races to go, desperation will set in.
Yeah, because we got, after this race, we have Michigan, we have Watkins Glen, Indianapolis Road Course, Daytona, and then one more track that I'm blanking right now on top of my head. But we have at least a few more rounds to go here before that hits, and like you said, desperation sets in as some drivers, like we know Emma Kruger, not here tonight. She's good at road courses. That's probably going to be her ticket circled. Daytona, a lot of track. We know Kevin Feemster was second at the last plate race we ran at Atlanta. Ryan Pinnell, even though he's not near that cut line yet, if he has support bad runs, he may need to get a win there. He's good at plate racing. David Wright as well. A lot of drivers strong at that, and then you got the few last tracks here as well, like Michigan, a kind of a flat 2-mile track. That could be something maybe Donald Ray's strong in as well. So you got to kind of pick a track. You got to consistently do what you need to do. But if you're far enough down, like Briley Wright or Donald Ray or Matthew Leiter, you need to kind of pick one race, circle one race on that calendar, and that's the race you need to go all out in to get that win.
Yeah, there's 4 races left after tonight. Obviously, you hit them on the head. It's Michigan, Indy Road, Watkins Glen, Daytona. Those next 4 races after tonight, including night 5 races until the end of the regular season. Josh Gaiman made his way through all of that. Got ahead of Feemster, Ray, and Wanzing.
Looks like James Kerr making an unscheduled stop here in that 75.
Yeah, that would be James Kerr there. The number 75 has 1 career win in the series that came early last year at Fontana. An amazing last lap turn of events there between him and Jeremy Breo as Tommy Reynolds leads the way. He has been lights out phenomenal this season, trying to go for the record Jeremy Breo set last season. Breo got 7 wins last year. Reynolds would like to tie that or beat it, but he's got to get 3 more wins this season.
Still plenty of time to get those wins, and a lot of good tracks he can easily get those wins at. Let's see how it all shakes out. By the way, James Kerr, what happened with him? He hit the wall pretty hard off the back straight. Came on the front start finish line, and ended up hitting the wall there after doing an overcorrection. Ended up tearing down the right side quite well. Had to burn a fast repair, but he's back out. But he's got no fast repairs left in the tank if something else does happen.
So you're looking at the front of the field, Michelle and Aussie Purnell keeping him honest. Better places falling behind Tom Sears to round out the top 5 here.
It should be worth noting as well as watch the second and third here, as Michelle and Austin Purnell are both in the fighting for the contention of Rookie of the Year. Now, Michelle, obviously, with 2 wins so far this season, been a bit more of a dominant driver than Austin Purnell. But Austin Purnell has been no spring chicken, and will only be about 150 back. Anything can swing if a bad form hits Michelle. So 2 drivers right now looking to be the runaway favorites for the Rookie of the Year. Right now, it's Michelle's advantage. Things can obviously change, and Austin Purnell, if he gets ahead, could easily make that happen. But right now, with Michelle knocking on the door of Tommy Reynolds here, maybe to try to take that lead away if he can get a good run off the corner.
You know, saying about the playoffs. The playoffs change everything too, because that's a level footing for the most part. So it's all about the highest rookie at the end of the season in the points. It could easily not matter. Michelle's 2 wins could easily not matter at all if he doesn't make it past the round of 16.
Correct.
And vice versa. Like, obviously, you look at all the rookies in this series. You got Michelle, you got Purnell, you got David Wright, Kruger, you have Jack Mulkey, Leiter, Overstat. Like, there's a lot of drivers that easily could put their names in that hat really late in the season.
Yeah.
But both these rookies have been consistently strong. That is 100% factual there. As we look at Purnell, they're sitting in a comfy 3rd. A little further back, a battle for the 6th position. No love lost between these 2. Josh Game and Matthew Leiter, several run-ins this season. Several run-ins this year, in and out of ARCS between these 2. They're going to race each other pretty hard here. Doesn't matter if it's stage 1 or stage 3.
And it's an advantage and a curse, because obviously you want to kind of treat how you want to be treated outside the thing, but with all their run-ins, they kind of distrust each other to a point where it's like, I'm not going to give you an inch, and I know you're not going to give me an inch, so you know they're going to run each other quite hard, no matter, like you said, what lap it is, whether it be lap 19 or it be lap 199. They are going to race each other like it's last lap with the trophy in the check waiting at the end.
Yeah, Leiter surged forward there a little bit, but Josh Gaiman held him off there. Moving up to 6th place. Gaiman up 7 spots from where he started. Obviously, he was hoping to start off a little bit higher up the field, but got turned early by Bradley Wright in that heat, and that sent him down the pecking order for the start of this race. He's gotten back within the top 6, but now it's going to get a lot more difficult for him, because there's a lot of talent in this field, especially very much at the top of the standings here. So Gaiman's going to have to begin that pursuit, but luckily he's gotten to that point after just 20 laps, a 10th of the race over. Stage 1 ends on lap 50, Stage 2 ends on lap 120.
Figured they would have went 50-50, but yeah, 50-60 also makes sense, just as all the same.
50, 70, and 80 lap stages tonight.
Yeah.
Is how things will end up stacking up here. A little bit further back in the order, a little bit of battling. You see that between teammates there, Ray Wanzing and Bren Roberts.
Oh,
that's
Ray
at
just
the very
went deep
cusp of
there.
the top 10.
Yeah, Ray
And
went
they're
a
all
little bit
trying to
too
get
deep.
around Kevin Feemster.
Saw him go deep there in that corner after a little mistake there, and he almost cleaned out Feemster, but luckily keeps it clean, but ends up losing 2 spots in the process. And is now behind both his Sunday Monday Racing teammates here. And you can see also in that second pack there, Edward Marshall was able to ground David Wright, and Wright on his way up through the field right now, up 4 spots from where he started. Not the biggest mover, that's Joshua Gaiman, but still good for a driver that needs to, with a good opportunity to gain points on the cut line with Emma Kruger not here tonight. Good finish here in that 42 machine will extend that gap a little bit more and can jump Feimster and give himself even more cushion. But right now you can see Ray almost hits the wall there. Edward Marshall almost hits the wall in his own regard. Driver's really trying to find as much time as Wanzing almost gets to the back of Feimster.
Yeah, a lot of checking up there between 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Edward Marshall, remember, started on pole. He started in the front row for the heat race, qualified 3rd. So we know the pace in that 16 car for line power.
Question is, it makes you wonder, is it one lap pace, or is it a short run car, or can he kind of reel it in on the long run? Because some drivers can put down consistent 1 lap runs, but if they can't run it consistently through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they could end up being in trouble here. And right now, Edward, we know he's got great pace. We saw it since he came in during the All-Star race. And then the race after that at the Coke 600, he was quite strong in a lot of these races, but he seems to always not be in a position really to finish well after what happens. Oh, Wanzing has a little mistake there, just up the road. Almost puts Roberts up a groove. Keep it clean. Oh, Ray just hits the wall there. Touches it again. Luckily, a light tap. Shouldn't do too much damage. But Wanzing probably getting a little bit upset with this 21 here. Wants to get around here yesterday, but now it'll work just as well. It looks like he'll finally get the job done. And Roberts' teammate will probably follow suit on the inside and try to train that 21 back 2 spots.
The thing is, now that Feimster's up there, it's going to be so difficult for him to get back down. Luckily, Ray had given him that space inadvertently, as now Brendan Roberts overdrives it a little bit out of 4 and gives Feimster a chance to respond.
This little squabbling has allowed that second pack to catch up here with Wright, Marshall, and Briley Wright. It looks like Feimster just had a mistake there. And
that's a mistake out of 2.
Yeah, and that's going to cost him a couple spots here. Now he's going to be battling. Wright's able to get around. Now Marshall is going to try to find around the outside line. Feimster will have the preferred line going in the corner if he can be a little bit more aggressive on the brakes. It looks like it won't matter much as Marshall will get around. Now Wright going to try to sneak around the same side. A little bit further up, Danny Michelle has been caught by Austin Pinnell here as Michelle's fallen to the clutches of 3, 4, 5. Looks like Austin Pinnell making a move here for second position. Michelle on the high groove. They're going to see there on the live stream as well. Ray was under attack from right. But you can see her battle for second. Rounds got about a second gap on this position for second. Now going to try to challenge Fortune. Sears and Featherplace, both line-powered motorsports machines, both trying to get up there. And it looks like Michelle almost kind of hits the wall there. Has to take evasive action. Almost hits Austin, but luckily will not. Austin will now be up to second. And Michelle going to be under pressure here for third. Right now is trying to stop the bleeding here. Maybe just trying to find a good run here from Michelle. Just already lost 2 spots. We know he's a good short track, a short run car, short run driver. He does kind of struggle on the long run, getting the tires out of it, especially in the early stages here. Almost gets the pump there by Featherplace. But luckily that may give him the cushion he needs to kind of settle down here and get back in running good laps here in that 25. They're back. You can see as Carmen found a good battle there between the 83 of Leiter and the 1 of Bren Roberts. Wansing was already able to get around Leiter, and now, similar to what we saw previously when they both got around Feemster, they're both going to try to do the same thing here on Leiter. One gets around, opens the door, and the other's going to follow suit. But it's a little bit hard for Roberts here as Leiter is putting up more of a fight. Roberts has the preferred line, but Leiter not going away yet. And Leiter's going to have the chance to clear if he wants, and he will. So Leiter will keep the spot. Bren Roberts cannot follow through. Have to try to pick his time here to try to find another spot to get around. As the stage is pretty much flying by here as we're closing in on the end of the first stage here on lap number 50. Battle back for second here with Austin Pinnell and Tom Sears. Sears is getting a good run here, second position. Austin Pinnell trying to hang on. It's the end of the timing of scoring. Michelle was able to end up losing the spot to third place anyway. Now going to fall in the clutches of Gaiman, trying to keep the top 5. But all this little squabbling has allowed Tommy Reynolds to gain about a 1.8 second lead on this battle for second we're currently watching. Has his fender there. He's going to get a chance to capitalize. Pinnell left the door open, thinks he can get the good runs on that middle groove. Or maybe just going to get the car down. He needed to with the tires being so worn. You can also see in the distance there the battle for 5th position with Gaiman and Michelle fighting. Gaiman will just get around there. Sears not going away here yet as he's still knocking the door. Just hoping Sears can't get a good run he needs off the corner and just trying to hang it there.
Purnell struggling so much on that outside line. You're seeing him not even able to really side draft that much with Sears in the corners. He's just drifting up so wide, and it's giving Sears all that room because now Sears can build up that momentum because he has that space to wiggle. And you see Fetterplace trying to pounce on that as well, while Purnell struggling with those tires. And Fetterplace going to force the issue a little bit more, trying to get Lion Power second and third as stage 1 winds down. 8 laps to go.
Makes sense to do the pressure right now because Sears did the hard part. He opened the door for you and kind of left it open. Now Fetterplace is going to try to follow suit here, and it's just trying to will away that 32. He can just hang it low and keep it low. Yeah, Fetterplace gets around Austin Pinnell, maybe knowing it's not worth a battle here. He's got a little bit of a time advantage of the game in here. If he can just hang on for a handful of laps, he'll keep that 4th position for the stage. So it's not worth fighting Featherplace and then opening the door for Gaiman to try to hunt you down and give him more laps to try to pass you. A little bit further back here, we're looking at just at the end of the top 10 here for stage points. Matthew Leiter is currently that car that is in 10th position. Donna Wright, first one out, and Bren Roberts 9th, and David Wright 8th. Is Wright's doing what he needs to do. He's around Feemster right now. Feemster's down to 16th, so he's going to at least put 2 points closer to passing Feemster at the very least right now with stage points how it goes.
Yeah, Feemster's dropped all the way down to 16th place. As Bren Roberts went wide. Overdrove turns 3 and 4 a little bit too hard there. This is going to drop him down to 10th and maybe 11th. It's not a huge issue or ordeal right now for Roberts. Again, he's already got a race win. He's already in the playoffs. It is a big deal, however, for both Matthew Leiter and for Donald Ray, who are both trying to get some extra points here, even though Donald Ray's in a must-win situation. And Leiter, you can argue, probably in the same boat with how things are currently running so far. Matt Leiter is 18th in position in points right now, behind that of Jack Mulkey. So he is very much in a needing to win spot here.
He's about 108, 110 points out, rough math, obviously, away from getting in on points. So 2 points is not going to make much of a difference when the cut line is ahead of you currently, and will grow that gap a little bit more. But as we're coming here, Bren Roberts holding on here down to Ray, trying to get around Leiter here. Also a little bit up as well. Gaiman is slowly reeling in that 32 of Austin Pinnell. try to get a 4th spot at the end of the stage.
2 laps to go.
Here. Yep, 2 to go on the stage here. Oberstadt just went 1 down here.
One down a couple laps ago. I noticed that. Very important because Oberstadt will get the free pass. Kerr's gone 2 laps down, so you get a double whammy there for Kerr.
Well, positive he took tires, he could try to take the wave round, hope for another caution, but it's risky in that front.
This race is playing out pretty strategically in the way that we've seen other races go. The first 2 stages, pretty good. The last stage will be where all the chaos is located.
Yep, Wanzi just got around Michelle. David Wright making a move on the lap car. Trying to maybe get around Michelle as well to get that 1 extra crucial point there. All that matters. 1 more stage point can definitely help him out here. 7th's better than 8th. But Reynolds just crossed the line. It will not matter. It'll be Reynolds, Fender Place, Sears, Ospinell, Josh Gaiman. So Pinnell will hold on the 4th. Wanzing, Michelle, Wright, Ray, and Roberts. That will be your top 10 all getting stage points. Matthew Leiter will be the first one on the outside looking in.
So incident free, minus the contact with the wall with James Kerr to put him 2 laps down. Steven Oberstadt will get his lap back. And that'll give us all 18 cars still running and 17 on the lead lap. As leaders come down pit lane for their first scheduled service. Yep.
Everyone obviously coming in here. Obviously, long run here. Oberstadt obviously going to get the wave round and will pit next time by. But to be fair, and James Kerr will take the wave round here to try to get 1 of his laps back. But everyone else coming on in, knowing fuel, tires, fixed damage if they have any from some of those wall taps. Very important to take that service. And now it's up to the virtual crews to decide who comes out ahead here.
They'll say it'll be Reynolds pretty easily there. Ahead of Brendan Fetterplay. Steven Oberstadt will have to pit here. He is the lucky dog, but he has the ability to come in next time by. So it'll be Reynolds, Fetterplay, Oberstadt, Sears. As things look right now, Oberstadt's going to let everyone go by before coming down pit lane. So biggest gainer down pit lane, or really Gaming gains a spot there. Biggest loser, I think, would actually end up being Oscar Burnell down in, will be 16th here.
Yeah. Slow stop for him. Had a little bit of damage. He must have fixed the damage he had. 35-second stop for him. But with so many drivers that we know hit walls, we saw Ray, Bren Roberts, a few of those drivers in the back kind of clip walls a little bit. I didn't see an incident where I saw Ospinell really clip a wall that bad.
It may be one of those things where, like, with this car, obviously, a lot of crush panels in these cars, these Gen 7 machines. It could be one of those things where he just took that repair, knowing that he's probably gonna, he didn't want to have to make more repairs in stage 2. They make the repair now and kind of hope for the best, because he was struggling a lot at the end of that stage. We noticed that his pace dropped off dramatically. I wonder if he had tagged the wall, particularly with that left front or that right front, that caused that. And that's what that was addressing, because if that's the case, he had the pace to hold on there with Reynolds, and then it just magically went away. I wonder if that has something to do with that. It didn't pop up on our events menu, so we couldn't go back and pinpoint it. But I wonder if that's what that was. And if so, then those 20 seconds on pit lane are going to be absolutely critical to getting that car back to where it was. It just, now he's got a lot of traffic to deal with.
Yeah, and traffic could easily cause them to be in an incident where it makes more damage and has to prevent a fast repair or fix that up anyway. So it's a weird catch-22. It makes me wonder, honestly, what I was stalling, I thought it was just a tire fall off when we saw Michelle as well falling the wrong way quickly. I just thought his tires didn't hit the distance. So choose cone up here. Obviously, Christina, we saw last week, was not a big fan of the choose cone.
Yeah.
And we saw an incident in question where a little accident happened under the choose cone. But luckily, everything goes smooth here. No incidences, nothing to really report, just drivers picking lines. Reynolds goes low. Sears also falls low. Feather Place will be the first car on the outside line. So as a reset here is going to be Reynolds in Feather Place row 1, Sears and Michelle, row 2. Gaiman, Wanzing, row 3. Wright, Roberts, row 4. And Ray and Matthew Leiter make up the 5th row. That will be your top 10, as the pace car is going to take the hard left into the pit lane.
It's Tommy Reynolds and Brandon Fetterplace front of the field. Pace car is in pit lane through the restart zone. And away we go. Stage 2 underway here at Richmond.
That was a great launch there. That's what he needs to do. Get ahead.
Phenomenal job so far.
Yep, we're going to try to slot in here. Featherplace will keep 3rd. Michelle, though, going to be on the guff of the 34. Try to get him the move so he can maybe get around Gaiman. But right now, look at that train on the inside line. You'll see as you get a good shot here. There's going to be no real opportunity for Michelle, but we'll have a quick caution here. Actually, never mind, mistake. No caution. Look at the timing scoring wrong there. We'll stay clean. Yeah, Michelle will finally get his way down here. Luckily, keeping in front of that 61, but you can see a big train here on the inside. Oh, in the wall, Sears. You're going to see him right there, and Featherplace. Sears may have lost it, and it checked up Featherplace too, so one line power machinery mistake affected another one. And I'm going to guess it may have been something similar happened to James Curry. You can see him limping right now. We'll see if he tries maybe get down to get to the pit lane. No, he'll try to tough it out here in that ARCS machine. Yeah, going back here to see what happened from my own perspective. And yeah, it just snapped out of 4 and ends up hitting the wall right into Featherplace. Featherplace didn't know where Sears was going and ends up kind of affecting both line power machines, and Sears still struggling right now. Just trying to maybe hope for a quick caution or something that he can get down and fix that up without losing a lap or 2. Because of that mistake, Reynolds now has a 1.4 lead on Michelle. He's now bumped up the 2nd position. Josh Gaiman in 3rd, Seth Wanzing in 4th, and David Wright currently in the top 5.
Right now, looking at the front of the field, Tommy Reynolds took the advantage of the line power misfortune to break away, while Dan Michelle moves up to 2nd place, the pole sitter. Now only 1 spot down from where he started this race, while Josh Gaiman sits 3rd, Wanzing 4th, and David Wright all the way up to the top 5. A big stage 2 so far for David Wright. See if he can hold on to it ahead of Brendan Roberts, Matthew Leiter, Brandon Fetterplace, who dropped 5 spots. Austin Purnell and Bradley Wright running up the top 10.
Yeah. Obviously, longer stage here. Usually we've seen with stage breaks, it's usually the same distance for the first one and the 2nd one. This one being a little bit longer, as the effects of the tires have to go a little bit longer. And in turn, if you didn't take good care of your tires during the first stage, ooh, a big spin in the back here. Bit of a checkup right in front of Sears and Oberstadt. Luckily, no caution as well. Only one car ended up being sideways. They're all pointing in the right direction. Again, it was the 21 of Feemster. Yep. It was Feemster, Oberstadt, as Oberstadt got in the back of the 21. The nightmare day for the 21 is going from bad to worse here. Race he didn't need to have a bad run at. Right now, he is not looking good for the 2nd stage as well. Back up to 3rd here, Wanzing. Kind of looking to get that first win. He's had some good performances so far. He is a driver that, even he's personally said to me, he thinks he can get that next win here. Maybe not Richmond itself, but get a win somewhere on this calendar. And he feels like it's any day now he can get that. Right now, battling for getting that podium spot. Ooh, a big checkup there. Someone, 83 of Leiter, went way to the low side. And I think that caused another incident as well. That will be a caution. So you'll see there Mulkey involved and a few others. So, Donna Ray as well involved. So that little incident with the 83 and that little ping pong caused an ill effect going into 3. we'll take a look here to see what happened. You'll see him on live perspective. He'll have a mistake right there. He gets loose right in front of Feather Place. And, oh, he tried to save it. Nope, couldn't. Right in the ray. And hits him hard. Mulkey ends up getting a little tap, too, so... Leiter tried to play big ball there to try to save it and couldn't get the save done. And now he's got damage along with Donald Ray and Jack Mulkey, with Ray taking a big hit there on the front nose. So obviously this pit stop window, most drivers electing not to pit here. James Kerr will get a lap back. Actually, will get now his, because obviously took the wave run under the last caution. So now he will be back on the lead lap, and we will have, at the moment, all the cars on that are currently racing still on the lead lap. Obviously that may change here depending on if all cars get out of pit lane. They all successfully will do, except for Donald Ray, who will now officially leave his pit box. So all cars will stay on the lead lap after the cycle, with the 14, the 27, 83, and the 112 all pitting to fix damages for either the previous caution or, in Tom Sears' case, an incident happened earlier, as he'll come back down again to do some more damage, while do some more repair while trying to burn a fast pair. Same thing with Matthew Leiter. Shoes should be, as cyclists come in, shoes should be, I believe we're going to see it next time by, not this lap, but the next one. One downside of short track racing is that if you come in out of the first pit stop window and try to come in the second one, you got less time to try to fix up the car. As we saw with Matthew Leiter, got in the box pretty late and only had about 4 seconds to fix what he needed to fix, after he spent a previous time on the pit lane. So Jew's going to be effect here. We'll see where everyone elects to go. Obviously, I feel like we know where Reynolds is going to go, and I feel like Michelle will probably follow suit. But it looks like Michelle's going to go the high line here. So it's going to be Reynolds, Michelle, first row. Wanzing, Gaiman, row 2. Wright, Roberts, row 3. Feather Place, Ospinell, row 4. And row 5 will be Ryan Pinnell and David Wright. And that'll be your first 5 rows.
Alrighty, here we go. First caution for an incident tonight. Resets us here with 48 to go at the line. Left in stage 2. Green flag in the air, and away we go.
Launched by the 7. After second position, you can see them 2 abreast for 3rd, 5th, and 7th, respectively. This driver's just trying to find their footing in there. Ooh, Wright almost sends Wanzing. And deep in the corner. Luckily, the drivers are now trying to find their footing here. Wright will slide behind Roberts. By the place, Ospinell fighting for 8th position, 7th position. see a little bit argy-bargy there. Briley Wright and Ryan Pennell fighting just on the outside of the top 10 for 9th. Ryan Pennell has the preferred line, but there's a bit of a checkup on the inside line. Gaiman has a little bit of a mistake there. Luckily will keep 3rd. Yep, you can see right there, battle for 3rd. Wanzing had a little peek on Gaiman there. Gaiman will hold on as everyone's now pretty much getting single file here. Still a long way to go for the end of the stage. It's going to be at lap 120. Check up there by Brent Roberts, going to open the door for David Wright to kind of come back here. Right, we'll get the spot. Austin Pennell going to try to capitalize as well. David Wright through. It's like, again, he has a preferred line. He knows what it feels like to be pinched on that outside line with nowhere to go. Keep it in. Ooh, almost comes up into the one in question. He'll end up failing to make the attack there work. And now he's going to try to almost hit Feather Place. His Feather Place, bit of an unorthodox pass. But we'll get the spot. Now Ospinel going to try to stop the bleeding here, and now be under attack by Briley Wright. And is now going to be pinched on the outside, similar to what he was doing to Bren Roberts. But luckily, he'll actually have a chance to attack here as the old over-under. They'll try to get back that spot.
Oh, contact even more there.
Oh.
And so allow Ryan Pennell to sneak on through. Ryan Pennell looking for another top 10 result this season, sitting right now in the 10th spot, trying to get the 9th. And keep an eye on Steven Oberstadt, was a lap down in stage 1, now in the thick of it here in stage 2. Trying to defend from Tom Sears further forward here.
Yeah. You know, Tom Sears got a fast 14. That one little mistake put him behind here and had to fix up his car. Now going to try to carve his way up to the field. Got a long way to go to make that happen, but plenty of laps left in the stage. Here's again preferred line in corner here. Could be able to get the job done. Not this lap, next time by.
There goes Sears through. Oh, and oh, that is Bren Roberts the spins. Bren Roberts goes around.
Yeah, it looks like it had something to do with Feather Place as well in that situation.
Hard spin, and here's what happened. I don't know if I think Roberts tagged the wall and bounced out in front of. Oh no!
Oh,
he slowed up a lot for some reason, and Feather Place was unsighted there.
I think he overcooked the corner and tried to maybe get it back into the line he needed to, and then Roberts just, Feather Place had a better closing distance, and nowhere to go.
So now Bren Roberts now in danger of going a lap down here.
At least on the bright side, it didn't look like he took too much damage out of that 34, so he should be okay for the most part. Back up to the front, as you've been paying attention to the timing and scoring, Dave Michel's kind of ticked away at that lead that Sevens had. He had it down to as low as 3/10, but now it's back up to 5. About half a second away now, as Reynolds getting back into a comfort groove, as Michel kind of overcooks that corner just a bit, is going to cost himself another 10th. Reynolds will come on and lead lap 89, coming to 90. Keep an eye on some battles here. You can see obviously that little incident with Feather Plays allowed basically a haves and a have-not system kind of to form here. As now David Wright has a good old 2-second gap on Briley Wright there, who's now 2.5 back on.
And it's almost 3 seconds, 2.8.
Yeah.
It's a huge gap right now. David Wright sitting very cozy right now in the top 5 of 10 spots is our biggest gainer of the race.
After that P6 on back, you basically got a lot of drivers trying to training up here. Oh, down the right just had a slight mistake. Very aggressive on the brakes, trying to pass Tom Sears. They'll get the job done, but yeah, definitely not gonna be happy with Sears. Well, Sears not gonna be happy with that. Is just had to check up and allow him to go around.
Former teammates from last year for Outlaw race, for Team Outlaw.
Yeah, with that angle I was watching, I thought he was gonna end up hitting something, but luckily he does not. Probably right. Again, a driver that is currently on the outside looking in at the moment in the playoffs. Currently 46 back of Emma Kruger, and Emma Kruger's about 10 back, 8 back going tonight, so that would be 54 points back on David Wright coming into tonight. And with Themster's bad luck, obviously he's getting trained here, so maybe I should have kept my mouth shut a little bit longer, but if he can still get a good finish here at the very least, he can try to reel in that gap a bit. But now with Ryan Pinnell on his inside, just trying to stop the bleeding. President Race Machine car and former President Racing Machine driver fighting for position there. Ryan Pinnell will get the spot. Now Sears trying to get around that 112.
A lot of battling here at the very fringe of the top 10. Brother Wright sitting in 8th place just ahead, and it's better place than Austin Purnell as David Wright's opened his gap to 4.1.
Yeah, and unlike in stage 1, stage 2 here, obviously we're coming up to what 50 laps would have been at the moment. But Tommy Reynolds is not getting away as much as he was at the end of stage 1, where he was able to get 2 seconds here. Michelle, Gaiman, Wanzing, and Wright are all within distance of him. They get a little scrappy, they can make that happen.
Laps taken down. We're almost to the halfway point in this race. A little bit of a battle here for second place behind Tommy Reynolds. It's Michelle and Josh Gaiman, as there's even more battling going on further back.
I was going to say, they were just 3 wide there at a moment. Ryan Pinnell, Don Ray, and Sears were all 3 wide coming off of 4. As Ryan Pinnell kind of overcooked the corner and allowed Sears and Ray to have a chance, but neither driver were able to get an opportunity to pass there.
And now they're both going to try Ray on the outside lane now. I think Ryan Pinnell mostly frustrated that he can't make many progress on better place.
Looks like Michelle's got trained there for second, as he's now down to 4th. I just look over time and scoring. A gap's formed between Reynolds and second place.
Yeah, Gaiman got around Michelle. Michelle dropped 2 spots. Hence why that gap's formed, or why that gap's expanded a little bit, but now Reynolds in traffic.
Yeah, it was just a battle. No mistake happened there. Just battle happened. But yep. 1 or 2 lap cars here. You got the 21 of Feemster and the 1 of Roberts, both fighting to try to stand the lead lap, but also fighting for the lucky dog in question. If someone can get around the 1 here, it'll then be smooth sailing.
And Roberts goes really wide there in 1 and 2, lets the leader go by.
Yeah, doesn't want to be too much of a 4 on the side. Never know if a reverse situation happens. You don't want to end up angering someone and then making it more miserable for you in the reverse direction. Especially when he's got the free pass at the moment locked down. But again, being ahead if something would happen would be more advantageous instead of starting at the tail end.
And right now, as things run, they would be the only 2 to go a lap down in this stage. Oberstadt dropped back down to 16th place, but only 12 seconds adrift of the race leader compared to 24-second lap times here.
Yep, he is currently, as the leaders cross the start-finish line now, he is currently on the backstretch, halfway on the backstretch. So unless he makes a mistake, he has no risk going a lap down at the moment. David Wright making a move here on the 25 Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's suffering big time because he dropped from 2nd now to 5th place. We're looking at this battle here near the end of the top 10, though, because there's been a lot of position changes here. Riley Wright and Brandon Fetterplace going at it. Sears got ahead of Pinnell, who's now trying to defend from his former teammate, Donald Ray. And Ryan Pinnell struggling, drifts out wide.
A lot of things shaking up in that battle right there as we keep watching it unfold. Like you said, a lot of change positions happen there. Right now, like looking comfortable for 10th right at the moment. He needs to be challenged in the reverse.
Well, laps to go in the stage. Still Connor Reynolds' game. Ryan Pinnell's dropped down to 12th place behind Ray and Leiter, as we saw there. Game and still under threat from Seth Wansing, who gets a little loose right as we pan to him. Trying to push hard there, and it looks like his teammate might try to help him out there. Brendan Roberts, a lap down car.
Yeah,
Trying to make something happen.
Advantage of having teammates at the very least. Even though Wansing, again, pretty comfortable to get in even if he doesn't get a win. Getting 2nd position and at least a chance to maybe gain a spot in pit lane, or at the very least have a better chance jumping, is better than being 3rd during pit lane where you may not get that jump. So it's better to have that 1 spot if necessary going into the final stage in better lane choice. It looks like Wansing has an opportunity here. He'll have the inside, but cannot get the fender in going into the corner.
And keep an eye on David Wright, the number 42 machine, got his first podium on Friday night in the Twiggy iRacing Series. Trying to keep that momentum going, and what a turnaround it's been for him. Was nowhere in stage 1 as Wansing locks it up.
Oh, he did, and that's going to allow David Wright to capitalize.
Yeah. It's going to allow David Wright to do a lot of damage here. Brendan Roberts realized that he had no chance now helping his teammate there, so he's going to try to get out of the way. Again, Brendan Roberts still the lucky dog as it goes now, so we'll get the free pass under the stage 2 caution. Not a huge concern for him at the moment right now. Wansing at this point just trying to hold on. Every stage point matters. Again, he's winless, so is David Wright. And as frustrating as it is for Wansing to not be closer to Reynolds right now, he is very much concerned about making sure he stays ahead of David Wright on points, and that means finishing ahead of him too. And there's been a lot of drop points for Wansing from technical issues so far this season.
Yeah. That's been the main plague of that 9.
By and far, yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, Gaiman!
Gaiman in the wall.
Save that. Yeah. Thing snapped hard there. Wonder how bad he hit that wall. He basically kept like the wall corrected. It could have been a lot worse depending on the angle he hit. But luckily, looks like he hit it flush. That's Seth Wanzing it back for a chance to get P2. And David Wright maybe to try to capitalize as well. Gaiman keeps the foot in it. It should clear here, Wanzing. More to go in the stage. Oh, Wanzing going for it. Almost hits right. He'll loop it.
And that could throw the caution early. They're going to try to let it go, but Wanzing in trouble now.
One car still. As long as no one hits him, he should be okay. Oh, hits the wall trying to get it going.
He was trying to scramble there.
Yeah, doesn't want to go a lap down. Reynolds is currently about 2 corners behind, but luckily he should be able to stay on the lead lap here. But mad scramble there and ends up doing a little bit of damage to the car. Now it's game on for second. David Wright looking for his best stage performance here so far this season. If he can get the second, if the bubble driver could do it, it will give him much more of a cushion as his main competition, Emma Kruger, not here tonight. And also, with Feemster having some bad luck, currently last of the runners in 18th, that's going to be a 9-point swing. He will firmly take that position away from Feemster and put another car between him and the cut line. So if a car does win. Last lap of the stage right now. Once Reynolds crosses the line, that ends the stage.
And they know it. 3.5 seconds the gap, and they're going for it. David Wright has second place. Going into 3 and 4.
Right, he's cleared it. Should
Tommy
be
Reynolds ends the stage. David Wright second, Josh Gaiman third, and Steven Oberstadt gets the free pass. He went a lap down right on the final lap.
Yep, so Brendan Roberts not going to be happy with that one bit, as now he'll have to take the wave around along with Feemster instead of getting the lucky dog. So stage was Reynolds, Wright, Gaiman, Michelle, Pannell, Feather Place, Briley Wright, Matthew Leiter, Donald Ray, and Tom Sears. That is your top 10 here at the end of stage number 2. Now we're on the home stretch. Final stage, the finish. Let's see what they got.
As the cars are going to come down pit lane here. Oberstadt will get the free pass once again.
Now the question is, what can the virtual crews do? Can anyone outduel that 7? It's such a big gap between the 42 and the 7. I feel like the 7 will come out, but there's a chance 61 could jump the 42 here. 42 has won the last pit stall since he was qualified late. Bad finish in the duels. So our first pit stall entry here. And obviously Tom Reynolds not being pole sitter. Edward, other car Michelle was. He will have the front pit stall here. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Michelle in this pit box had to roll backwards. So he'll lose he'll lose even more spots here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, left his box. Gaiman out 2. Should still be Tommy Reynolds. And it will be.
Comfortably so, yeah.
Yep, Reynolds, Wright. Gaiman, Ospinel, Feather Place, Briley Wright. That'll be the next few off the pit lane right there. Michelle's still on pit lane here. Looks like he's fixing some damage. Seth Wanzing, obviously, we know how to fix the damage well. He is still on pit lane. He is, I think, finally leaving his box as we speak, along with 27 to Mulkey. Michelle and Edward Marshall will cut it close, but they'll both get out as well before pit lane. They both go a lap down.
So this will start stage 3. As we get ready to go, we'll see how everything handles here. It looks like Roberts and Feemster might try to get that wave around to keep all 18 cars on the lead lap. But it's been very timid and calm these first 2 stages.
Yeah. Only one caution, well, technically one caution by incident and 2 cautions by stage breaks. But obviously, as stages go on, laps tick down, desperation kind of kicks on a little bit deeper. Gaiman's made a second pit stop here, as he looks like fixed something up for that wall tap he did. Wants to make sure he gets it all the way fixed up without having to burn a faster pair. We're going to see choose here. See, obviously Reynolds worked good for him 2 times so far. Looks like he'll keep it low. Austin will be the first lucky takers to try to go to the high side here. Gave him his long service pit lane. He obviously is not there anymore to capitalize. He'll be farther back. But to be Reynolds and Purnell, row 1. Feather Place right, row 2. Leiter and Briley right, row 3. Tom Sears, Jack Mulkey, row 4. And row 5 will be Austin Purnell and Edward Marshall. That'll be the first 10. 17 cars still running. James Kerr had a connection issue. He is now back running again. Will be on the track, but multiple laps down. 17 cars on the lead lap. Pace car going to pull in. Let's get this final stage underway. Green flag is out, and away we go. Like we've seen so far, that 7 gets a great launch. Austin Purnell going to try to hang on to second here. Oh, get second, I should say. Is Dave Wright going to run him aggressive? Drivers jostling for positions right there. You can see on that high side, Briley Wright trying to make it around Feather Place. Top 3 right now set in stone at the moment. No real pressure from attack. There's the battle for 4th. Feather Place and Briley Wright.
Oh, Bradley Wright with a little bit of an issue. Good save by that 8 car. But he's going to lose the spot to Tom Sears here.
Again, slight mistake. The stage you don't want to make a mistake in.
So far, things going so well. Elsewhere in the field, Tom Reynolds still leads over Purnell and David Wright, who are having completely phenomenal days, but Feather Place, be pressuring that 42. Now he's gotten back to that top 4 position. The issue is, can he hold on to it for the long run? It seems like David Wright has some pretty good long run pace in that number 42 machine.
Drivers try and find their footing here to make something happen. Like I said, good runs there, like you said, for Austin Purnell, David Wright, Riley Wright, Matthew Leiter, Jack Mulkey, all getting top 10 runs at the moment. All good runs to them. And there's Ryan Purnell challenging Saf Wanzing for 9th. Pennell's lost touch there as we watch this battle unfold here. Ryan Pennell's lost a little bit of touch to Seth Wanzing. Wanzing's making a move on Mulkey. And now Ryan Pennell's falling into the clutches of Josh Gaiman here. That's one thing I saw there, was able to get around Jack Mulkey's, put him up to 8th position. It's that incident at the end of stage 2, looking to try to get back up to where he was.
See kind of Teamster in pit lane right now.
Stayed out to get the wave around. Try to see maybe he gets something to happen here. But obviously, tires and whatnot coming in. Brendan Roberts probably will have to follow suit here as well sooner rather than later, last pitting on a 52. Just shows the crucialness of how that battle for the Lucky Dog was. Speaking of Brendan Roberts, there he is, old tires and whatnot. Already under pressure of the 7. Should be worth noting as well, at the rate they are going, we should not have to see a pit stop in this race, in this final stage, as cars, as you see, Brendan Roberts obviously going from 52 to now, well over 90 laps, stage only being 80. They should comfortably make it, but you may see if a pit caution does come out, some drivers like to come down to get those fresh tires, while some may value track position. Obviously, that all plays out. But at the moment, no more scheduled stops for anyone in the top 15. Except Wanzi was just able to grab a Matthew Leiter for 7th. That's the end of the train right now. Is about a 1.5-second gap to 6th place.
Only David Wright survived the onslaught from Fetter Place. Fetter Place was all over him early on in this stage. However, he's opened up almost a 1/2-second gap to that 34.
And regardless, David Wright can even hang with a top 5, top 10, still be a net gain for what he needs here today. Obviously, the higher the better. Heck, getting a win, if he can somehow find a way to get to that top position, that would be even better for his odds. Osmel just had a slight mistake there, as you saw him very low on the screen. That's going to allow Wright for 3rd to kind of catch up a little bit more here. He's not going to be too sad where he is currently right now, and even if he falls back a couple spots. Like Brendan Roberts had an instant, he has jumped to pit, actually just entered the pit lane, then jumped to pits. And it looks like it's Dave Dunn for the 1 machine, as he will call it a day. And will be, as James Kerr's on the race service, will fall back to 18th position. That will be that for the 1. He'll get last place points billings for him. Now, looking as we're coming up to about 50 to go here, looking at some of this field right now, some drivers obviously not looking for a caution. Others feel like would be happy if a caution came out right now, get like a bit of a regrouping, if you will. Seth Wanzing, Josh Gaiman, for instance. We know they have fast machines, both 7th, 9th respectively, but with Wanzing 4.8 back of Tommy Reynolds, still trying to reel down the 8, and Josh Gaiman currently 7 back of the leader, trying to get around lighter, and then about 2.5 seconds behind Seth Wanzing. It is a long road to go for either car if they want to try to get back to the win, nay, even try to get on the podium.
For the back, Damon's still down with Ladder and Mulkey.
Yeah.
Very slow progress.
He's in the thick of things in pack number 2. Michelle's also in that pack as well. We know he's fast as well. Right now behind Ryan Pinnell for 11th. Well, it's currently 12th, but battling for 11th. And how aggressive is the 61 going to be with this pass? Now, again, the run-ins they've had in the past, no love lost between either driver. How aggressive will it be to try to make this move occur?
Less than 50 laps to go here at Richmond. Again, watching this battle for 8th place still between two drivers that have no love lost.
And how aggressive will he be? Will he try to put the bumper to him, maybe? Obviously, you don't want to make a bad situation worse, but now you got a hungry Michelle behind who just cleared 2 cars with ease. 1 car, I should say. And wants to get back up there as quick, because right now the gap is, you're about half the distance away from Wanzing, who is slowly getting up to that front pack. As laps tick by, you're running out of time if you want to try to get something out of this.
Further down the order, Bryn Roberts' day is officially over.
Yep.
Still the closest battle going on right now. As Danny Michelle's looks like he might be falling his way back down. It's allowed Matthew Ladder to get ahead.
Yeah.
And firmly ahead too.
Yeah.
Coming to 41 laps to go.
At least for those 2 drivers that are battling for 9th position at the very least, they both have 2 wins respectively for Gaiman, 1 win for Michelle. So there's no real pressure for either driver needing to push too hard. Obviously, points and whatnot, it's still good to have, especially when the reset happens. But they're not in a desperate situation right now where they need a win. So having a bad day now is probably good to get it out of the system now before playoffs occur. Tom Reynolds is passing a lap car right now. James Kerr, only lap car he'll probably has to deal with here. Next one up the road would be the 30A of Oberstadt, but Oberstadt's still about a corner straightaway away. This race has just been flying by here. Just under 40 to go now for the laps remaining. This battle we're watching is the two drivers, well, with three drivers as well, fighting for 8th position. All three drivers hoping we see a caution here sooner rather than later. They can try something different. Quick reset for the ones up front. It's Tommy Reynolds, Ospinel, David Wright, 1, 2, 3 respectively. With fair place, Sears riding outside top 5. Swansea has now got around Bradley Wright. Is now going to try to catch Tom Sears to get himself firmly in the top 5 for Sunday Money Racing. Like Mulkey in on a pit stop here. Don't know if he got any damage because obviously probably can make it to the end. So this is a bit of an unscheduled stop for that 27. Let's take a quick look, see if the incident report had any incidents to report. Looks like everything was okay for the most part. So it's like it, at the very least, was planned for that 27 machine. Say that, but as his clock is ticking on above 20-25 seconds, looks like he may have had some damage to fix up from an untold incident. Still focusing on this battle here, we got as Gaiman and Leiter are fighting pretty hard here. Michelle and Leiter. Leiter steps off the road there. Michelle and Gaiman fighting hard in respective position.
Gaiman it is the closest battle on track, even though Ospinel is really close to Tommy Reynolds right now.
Yeah, down to half a second. He's close, but just not in striking distance. Ospinel, driver that currently could use a win. He's second on the drivers that have, second of the highest drivers that do not have a win yet this season. So again, another car that's probably comfortable getting into the playoffs with points, but a win would make all those struggles go away with the remaining 4 rounds after this.
See how these next 31 laps go. Right now, Ospinel posing right now the best challenge, the best threat to Reynolds that we've seen so far in this race. And David Wright not far behind if something goes wrong.
Yep. It's David Wright in further place, kind of fighting for third. About 8 tenths between the two of them. And then you got Wanzing in the distance there. He's got a lap car between the two of them. He's currently P5. And Sears and Bradley Wright have kind of lost touch from this kind of second pack.
14 cars on the lap. Overstat going to be next to go a lap down here.
Yep.
Robert's day is over. Mulkey's day effectively over. He's in pit lane.
Yep.
Kerr 5 laps down now. He's the car between Wanzing and Fetter Place. Teams are 2 laps down. Overstat and Marshall the next 2 cars in front. And lap traffic could play a factor here. Tommy Reynolds.
Well, we look at the road up ahead. Yeah, he'll have Oberstadt. He'll catch for the end of this thing. And then Edward Marshall is about 3 seconds up the road from Oberstadt. And that's probably it, because then Donald Ray's the next one, and Ray is about 5 clear of Marshall.
Ray's only half a lap down here.
Yeah.
He's at the very tail end of the second group.
And then Feemster's just behind him. So there's 2 cars they'll catch. 38, they'll probably get to the end of this thing, and they'll probably have a chance to get the 16.
Coming to about 25 to go.
Yeah. Even at the pace they're going, I mean, looking at the laps right now, Oberstadt ran a last lap of 24.12. Leaders ran a 23.81. So they're not cutting in a big enough gap that feel like they'll get to them, but they're not making enough inroads.
The issue is that they don't have to worry about getting by him. At least Reynolds will have to worry about it because he's going to hit the dirty air quicker.
Yeah. and that may allow Austin Pennell a chance to get around.
Because Purnell's already handling dirty air, and he's keeping with him at such a rate that if Reynolds has a sudden shift in how his car feels,
Could open the door.
Purnell 100% could get the door to him. And David Wright, likewise, if those two get together and tangle, David Wright is 100% in range.
But in respective last lap, Wright was the fastest out of the three. 23.75 to a 23.77 to 7.8 for the top two. This time by 23.68, while the others did a similar lap. So he's coming.
He's closing in.
But once the dirty air hits, even though he's got a little bit of an effect, obviously the closer he gets, the more the effect of that dirty air will be prevalent. We'll see if that causes time to fall down. He looks like he just lost 10th there. 24 to go.
Reynolds trying to pick it up. 23.76 again. 23.69 though for Purnell. 23.92 for Wright. He did slow down there that lap.
Yeah.
But Reynolds staying consistent, but Purnell's staying consistently either in range or a little bit quicker. 0.3 the gap. Under 0.3 now, out of 4. Gaiman's finally got around Michelle. This battle for the lead keeps picking up here.
Yep. About a second back of lighter now, though, so it's going to be a bit of a road to get back at that 83. How aggressive is Austin Pennell going to be on this?
How aggressive is Reynolds going to be on Overstep?
Yeah, because that's your main problem right now is going to be that 38.
It's lap traffic. Yeah, 100% it's lap traffic. And we saw this in the spring. Obviously, Tommy Reynolds kind of capitalized and made it work. But he wasn't under this level of pressure either.
No. So start feeling the effects probably about now. Again, does Oberstadt get out of the way? He's got no allegiance to either car. Neither of them are his teammates. So he has no allegiance as a B-Tron car to either help either machine, either Black Acid or Bandit. But at least we saw from some of the plate races, the 7 does line up better with the B-Trons than the Black Acid boys. 20 to go.
This is really close. Really close. Within 0.2 close. That is bump and run territory close.
Yep. They won't catch Marshall at this rate, so this is the only car Reynolds will have to deal with.
Where does Overstack go? Overstack goes high.
He will respect and kind of get out of the way for both cars, so that is not what Austin Pennell wanted. He wanted to be a little bit more of a thorn. This will probably check up David Wright just a tad. As David Wright's actually within distance as well, 1.2.
Yeah, he's closed in dramatically here these last several laps. And likewise, Purnell's having to sort of sit back and regroup here with 18 to go. It's now back down to 0.3 seconds.
But yeah, looking at this top 3 right now, a win would definitely be... Tom Reynolds already got 5 in the season. A 6-1 would put him closer to catching the all-time record for wins in a season. Austin Pennell, a win would get him locked into the playoffs, even though he's currently above the cut line by a good, healthy amount. Wouldn't have to really worry about the next couple weeks. While David Wright, currently the driver that's last in, a win, even though he's currently ahead of Feimster right now, would definitely lock himself in. The bubble would not shift, but the line would then be Feimster instead. And Feimster would have to deal with the pressure the next couple weeks with Emma Kruger and whoever else. And if another driver wins, then the line moves up and he doesn't have to worry. So you got 2 drivers hungry that need a win, and you got Tommy Reynolds with 5 looking to make it 6. And we're coming to 6.
Oh, and Reynolds is struggling there. Did not get to the bottom the way he wanted to.
Could open the door.
Oh.
Couldn't hit it again. That's going to allow Austin a chance.
This is a very good opportunity here. Reynolds struggling to get it down to the yellow line. See if he can get it down this time, but his line's going to have to shift here dramatically. Purnell, he shifts out wide.
Yeah, check up there. Reynolds put it where Austin was, and Austin had to check up.
Honestly, Austin does not want to race the way Reynolds raced at Chicago.
Mm-hmm. You want your first win, you want it to be clean in A squared.
It is one of the situations. And David Wright is dangerously there, and so is Feather Place. Feather Place is reeled in too. Reynolds has slowed down considerably.
Yeah. Put it in perspective, 24.7 for Reynolds. Also put out 24.9 last lap. 23.8 for both Wright and Feather Place.
Yeah,
so
and Seth Wanzing.
Yeah.
All three of them set identical laps.
Reynolds is backing down the pack here for whatever reason. Obviously, speed, tire
He's
fault,
trying
whatever.
to get second and third to battle here.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. Because right now he knows that the onslaught is going to be relentless from Purnell. And also, Reynolds has got his stuff off here.
Mm-hmm.
And David Wright, I know for a fact, will put elbows out a little bit rough here. The issue is if Austin Purnell will too.
Oh, that's going to open the door. Lock up on the right rear. Also will keep spot. Luckily, getting the slow pace kind of checked up right as well. And they're all falling in the train here. Again, Austin, if he can get clear, can maybe set some laps.
With how early Reynolds had to brake here. Close. But how early Reynolds had to brake there to try to shake Purnell. There's going to be contact, I feel, here. Whether inadvertently or not. Reynolds is playing a game of fire.
I always love saying the word next man up. And right now, if Austin Purnell can't make the move in the next couple of laps, Wright may pass. And that's what Reynolds wants. He wants these two cars to fight for second, give him enough time to watch that fight, not have to worry about it. Austin, he's playing a game of late chicken here. If he wants to wait as late as he can to make that move, but at the same point, if he waits too long, Reynolds may get his tires cooled down, maybe save enough stuff here to maybe give himself a long run. So, no attack, no chance. I feel like if you're Austin, right now he's falling down to 4 attempts behind. If he gets one more look, I feel like he's got to try it. He cannot. Like, that was a good opportunity to get around, and I think he may have let it go here, and unless he can get regrouped, that may have been the only chance he gets. 9 to go.
On to 8 laps here. These laps tick away quickly. 2 laps a minute.
Yep. That time by Austin was slightly faster.
Austin has been faster. Reynolds has been the slowest of the entire bunch today in this top 5.
Only car that last lap was above the 24s was Tommy Reynolds. All the others was able to get under the 23 bracket. Or in the 23 bracket, I should say. David Wright, though, looks kind of impatient here. He knows he can't win it from third. Oh, a little bit of a checkup there. That's going to open the door for David Wright, but he can't take it. Now he's going to be under pressure here from Feather Place. It's going to give Austin some breathing room here.
I have a very strong feeling someone's going to get moved here. I don't know if it's going to be Reynolds or Purnell, but I think one of them's going to get moved somehow, some way. There goes Purnell looking to the inside.
Oh, he couldn't get it.
He's trying, though. He made a really good look at it, and Reynolds tried to cut it off closely. I have a feeling that Reynolds may try something a little bit dangerous here.
Gotta go for it.
He's got to go for it. He pushes him wide. Pushes him wide. 3 wide. Wright. 3 wide. Reynolds in the wall.
Oh, David Wright. A little touch there. He'll keep it straight.
Wow. And Feather Place moves up to 2nd place.
Oh, Feather Place going to try to hang it around high.
He's going to take that momentum away from Reynolds. Reynolds now has pressure all the way through, but now it's trouble. And Feather Place gets tagged. Feather Place gets tagged. Wright goes through.
Bronzing piles in.
4 to go. No caution. We say green.
Yep.
Can Wright close in on Reynolds?
Wright's going to have a chance here. He's got 6 tenths to make up in 4 laps. He's got 2 minutes to try to get 1 attempt, and right now he got a 10th. He's going to have a chance here.
Wow.
No pressure from behind. He doesn't have to worry about a car in 3rd.
He's been quicker than Feather Place all race long, so as long as he can be efficient and clinical in this, he's got a chance. Down 2 tenths that lap alone. He's definitely going to have a shot here.
Yes, again, does he think he needs a win? He's the last driver in on points. He needs to be aggressive.
He got really aggressive. He was trying to over-under. But he's been so quick. He's going to have another chance with how quick he's been. Reynolds is a sitting duck right now. He's mirror driving like no other.
2 to go.
There's a reason Reynolds has got the most wins this season.
He makes that car wide when he needs to make it wide.
But we're coming to the white flag lap where all the gloves come off. 2 tenths.
I think he's going to wait up for one. Is he going to make the move into one? He's going to try to hang on for 3. We know Reynolds is willing to get the bumper if necessary. We know Wright will get the elbows out as well. Last lap.
He's going to hold on for this.
Yeah, he's going to do something here for 3.
Massively has a chance here. And he will.
Little bump.
He sent him. He 100% sent him.
No love lost as David Wright comes off a 4, and he will win this race and will lock himself into the playoffs. Feather plays second, Reynolds third, David Wright at first 3, and Reynolds, you can see, not too happy. But David Wright going to get the win and the check. Well, the virtual check. But regardless, David Wright, good for him, gets that win.
That was very interesting. That was very interesting. Sent Reynolds up. Didn't turn him. Reynolds fought it and ended up tagging the wall there. Well, it'd be interesting to see what the officials say about that, because everything kind of changed after Chicago with everything that happened there. But David Wright knew he had to make a shot.
Mm-hmm. I'd say on the point that at the very least, he didn't flat out dump him. He gave him a little bump, you could argue, but we've seen that in real life.
David Wright.
What? Yeah.
A race winner. That is wild.
Mm-hmm. He'll do a Polish victory lap here. He is going to be happy tonight. Like I said, next 5 weeks, next 4 rounds after this, he does not have to worry. No longer matters. Yeah, he's in. Now the cut line is now not Feather Place. It is Feemster.
Is it? Yeah, it is Feemster, yeah.
Yeah, Feemster was only 3 ahead of Wright coming in today, and after his poor performance, he was going to get jumped anyway. But now with Wright's win, he is now the cut line.
Phenomenal performance there by David Wright.
Changes, yeah. And regardless, even if the move for Chicago, the president, the win still stood for Reynolds.
Yeah, it did.
So even if something gets handed down, the win will still probably count. So, again, David Wright.
We'll hear from all of them here at the end of this one and hear what they have to say. Reynolds, it's going to be interesting for Reynolds, especially his perspective, because he did everything he could to try to hold on to it. Ended up being moved down to 3rd place behind Feather Place there at the end. Mm-hmm. But what a finish there. I think David Wright gave him all the opportunity in the world. He moved to the bottom. Reynolds tried to block it off. And obviously we'll go back and we'll look at that entire final sequence there, because it was a wild one. And this is what this final lap looked like, again, between David Wright, our race winner, and Tommy Reynolds, now 3rd place. Reynolds was leading at that point. Wright gets really close to him and make sure he gets some clean air so he can make this move happen. He kind of shows his cards. Reynolds. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what that's going to end up, conversation going to be like. Obviously, you see Reynolds. That conversation is going to be something else.
Oh, yeah, there's not going to be any happiness there. But then at the same point, Reynolds did something similar at Chicagoland. I mean, Chicagoland, the Chicago Street Course.
Yeah.
So it's not like glass stones in a glass house, I should say.
We'll hear from
someone.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting perspective there. We're going to hear from David Wright and Brendan Feather Place, our race winner. We'll hear from him first. David, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You get a copy.
Got you, Carmen.
What a drive. What a finish there. Obviously, everything you had to do to try to get a win there. Kind of just walk through. You had an amazing long run pace car. Kind of walk through how that came to be. And obviously, when you figured out you really had a chance to win this race tonight.
Well, I didn't know if I had a chance to win or not. I knew I had a fast long run car. I had found something in the spring race that seemed to be really good on the long run. I didn't have quite as much fall off. I ended up getting wrecked out of that one and couldn't have anything to show for it. And there at the end, it got really tight, and everybody was overdriving and pushing up. And when I got to second there at the end, I knew Tommy was going to be tough, and he pulled a few blocks, and then he kind of, I think, went in a little bit high into one and tried to turn down an hour 3 and 4, I can't remember, and I bumped him just a touch. It wasn't much, but did a little bump and run. I was going to fight hard to get this win.
Absolutely. And obviously, I talked to you on Friday after the Twiggy iRacing Series race where you got your 3rd place, and it was like that momentum seemed to be building and growing. You talked about how different those cars were, though. How much did that momentum help going into the night, knowing that, okay, we're getting this momentum, we're doing these different series, and now the results are coming in. A 3rd place and now a win in the biggest series in ARCS, obviously the A-Square Cup Series. You're now playoff locked in. You're no longer worried about being in the cutoff line. How does that feel, and how important was that momentum kind of coming for you to get to this point? Obviously, before we get to the road courses and the race at Daytona at the end of the season, you don't have to worry about those races now as being critical to you getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, I was really concerned. I knew I felt like I had to point my way in. I'd had such a rough start to the season. And, confidence is confidence. If you get confidence in one series, it can make you feel like you got something going. You may not always know what it is. But yeah, not much translates, really from those trucks on Friday night to this car today. This car was wicked loose on exit. And the longer the race went, it started getting really tight on corner entry and corner center. So I kept having to make adjustments to try to offset that that tight on entry and center, but making sure I took care of that right rear for loose off.
It paid off dividends tonight. Obviously, you said you learned something in that spring race, and it paid off tonight. We saw that pace tonight as you reeled in the race leaders and got yourself to the race win. Locked into the A-Square Cup Series playoffs with 4 races to go in the regular season. How about that? And now you get to join Dustin Painter and your and Tommy Withers, your teammates there for Prophecy Motorsports, and being in the playoffs in the next few weeks. Before we let you go and obviously let you celebrate here, a very quick race, but a very physical race tonight. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations again. Phenomenal drive race winner night here at Richmond.
Again, I appreciate it, Carmen. Like always thank you guys in the booth. Thanks to Ryan who puts this league on, and all the guys that do the different leagues, and the Kent was up in eye in the sky. You guys do what you do, which allows us to come there and have fun, and it's greatly appreciated. And of course, got to give a shout out to Prophecy Motorsports for at least picking me, taking a chance with me, and showing now as the season goes on, maybe they made a good choice.
Well, I can't say they can argue about it so far. Prophecy Motorsports, 3 cars into the playoffs already with 4 races to go, with phenomenal team effort all the way through. David, congratulations again. First race win in this series. Well earned, well fought, and you're now in the playoffs. These next 4 races beginning in Michigan are going to be a lot less stressful for you. Congratulations. Soak it all in and enjoy it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Phenomenal drive by David Wright. We'll hear next from Brandon Fetterplace, 2nd place in this event. Obviously, we'll hear, hopefully we'll hear from Brandon Fetterplace. Or hopefully get to hear from Tommy Reynolds here, at least in a second. We'll hear from Brandon Fetterplace, though, up next. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How you doing?
Pretty good. Obviously a physical race, but a quick race here tonight at Richmond. You got a front row seat for all of that coming up, and a 2nd place finish works out pretty well in your favor tonight. Kind of walk through this race for you, and obviously it seemed like you were there, but it seemed like there was just a little bit missing. Kind of just walk through how your race went.
Well, I mean, it wasn't too bad. When we started, I started to realize that I seemed to have a decently good long run car, or maybe I just wasn't making as many mistakes as everyone else, whatever the case may be. But I kept digging, and as you could see, me and the team owner there, he got loose and made a mistake, and I got into him, and that pretty much the entire 2nd stage I had damage, so I was pretty much just trying to stay in the points to make sure that Reynolds didn't get a whole lot on me. So other than that, I mean, the whole last stage there, that was getting pretty wild. That was pretty exciting. I kept waiting to see what Wright was going to do. He had good pace. We haven't gotten along all season, but he ran a pretty good race today, and it's pretty bad for Reynolds. Reynolds was pretty much walking away with this thing, and I thought he was going to win it, but hey, it's last lap. Kind of sounds familiar, don't it?
Absolutely. That was sort of the trend that was being talked about, especially among our live viewers tonight. It very much seemed like a little bit of deja vu, and obviously some conversation will probably come from that. But what a race here tonight at Richmond. Obviously, less cars kind of gave drivers a chance to kind of spread out a little bit more. Obviously for you, you're already obviously in the playoffs. You're the regular season points leader, and obviously tonight helped that a lot. These next races coming up, though, a really good chance to get another win and get some bonus points going to that round of 16. How do you feel going into those races? Obviously, we know you're good at Watkins Glen. That's where your first win came from, but you got Indy Road, obviously Michigan next week, and then Daytona. How likely do you feel like you're going to have a chance to get that next win coming up here in these next 4 races to really kind of pad those stats going into the round of 16?
Yeah, I just need to keep having solid finishes. As long as I stay in the points in each stage, and just kind of run my race. I don't need to be taken out, or people doing some dumb moves. But I feel pretty good from Michigan. I feel like Michigan is going to be a nice race. Indy Road Course, I feel pretty good about there. But we all know, if Aiden shows up, well, he's probably going to get it, or Emma. So they're pretty fast there. At all the road courses. So again, I'm trying to get as many points as I can, trying to stay where I'm at before Daytona, because, well, it's Daytona. so who really knows what's going to happen there? But other than that, we'll just see what we can do. We'll scrape for everything that we got.
So far, it worked out phenomenal for you tonight. Second place, another podium here, another phenomenal result to extend your points lead in the regular season. It has been an absolute blast watching your race all season long. Before I let you go, though, and let you kind of relax and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another podium here tonight.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Ghost Energy for being on the car. Thanks to Line Power and Tom Sears and Edward Marshall and Emma. And thanks to you, Carmen and Kevin, for all that you do in the booth. And, we'll go at her next week and see what happens.
Well, Brandon, obviously, again, congratulations on a phenomenal result. Those results keep coming here in the ARCS A² Cup Series. Well done, and enjoy, obviously, the week ahead, and we'll see you next week in Michigan.
Thank you very much. Can't wait to hopefully talk to y'all next week.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you again in 7 days' time. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
That was Brandon Fetterplace. Second place finisher tonight. I do not believe we're going to hear from Tommy Reynolds, however, in tonight's interview queue. But that is all right. Obviously, a lot of emotions there. And obviously, I think Reynolds is pretty well aware of how some people feel about him following Chicago. Probably best to kind of let things sit for a day before saying much about it. I definitely don't blame him in that situation. We'll go over the results, though, for tonight's race. Tommy Reynolds did everything he could to hold on to that race win, and for 199 laps, did a phenomenal job of it. David Wright, Brandon Fetterplace got the 1-2, though, over Tommy Reynolds. Reynolds obviously defending like his life depended on it, especially those last 25 laps. Very commendable from him. Just when it came down to it, David Wright was in the position he wanted to be in to make it all work. Austin Purnell in 4th place ahead of Seth Wansing. Matthew Leiter, top 6 for him. A good result for him ahead of Josh Gaiman. Bradley Wright, a good result for him. 8th place. Daniel Michelle down in 9th ahead of Ryan Pennell. Another top 10 for the presidential racing driver. Tom Sears, 11th ahead of Donald Ray, who recovered to the lead lap finish there after ending up at the very tail end of the lead lap during stage 3. Edward Marshall, 13th. Stephen Overstat finished 14th. The first car, 1 lap down. Kevin Feemster, 2 laps down. James Kerr, 5 laps down. Those are the last drivers to take the checkered flag here tonight. Of those 18 cars, Jack Mulkey retired 36 laps from the finish, and Bryn Roberts retired 59 laps from the finish here tonight. What a night, what a drive for David Wright. He punches his ticket into the ARCS A2 Cup Series playoffs here at Richmond. A phenomenal drive from the Prophecy Motorsports driver. We'll be live again on Wednesday. The ABN MM Box Cup Series visits Talladega as their chase gets closer and closer to beginning. We hope you join us for all of that there soon. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, Michael Commentator, Kevin Young, and everyone here for ARCS and the Darkside Mustangs A2 Cup Series, I'm Carmen Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you on Wednesday at Talladega. So long, everybody.